Too Many Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle, every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats podcast.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy Wednesday, man. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, as Mr. Rogers would say. It's your host with the most, Tony Mays, Lavelle Salta. What it do, my guy?
Hey man, we're thankful to be here. The Lord has shined on us this morning. We thank God for this magnificent hour.
This man right here, bro.
Grace and mercy.
Man, look, I am excited about today, man. We got a special guest in the house, man, all the way from ATL.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
this guy is let me just kind of read his bio, because man, I'm excited to jump on into this, man. So I'm about to introduce Chancellor K Jackson, also known as Chan. He was born in 1995. He is a Georgia native, born in Fulton County and raised in Smyrna. He attended Stetson University, where he played football for 9 years at both the high school and collegiate levels. After earning a bachelor's degree in communication and media studies, Chancellor lived abroad in China from 2018 to 2019. His passion for writing emerged following a traumatic experience, being arrested and detained in Beijing for 14 days. This journey led to his debut book, 14 Days in Beijing, which has ranked number one on Amazon over 15 times across multiple genres. Today, Chancellor is an educator, football coach, and entrepreneur dedicated to guiding inspiring authors through the writing and self-publishing process. Man, let me bring to the stage, man, my guy, Mr. Chancellor Jackson. What it do, my guy?
Hey, what's going on, man? Blessings and balance for both of y'all, man. Blessings and balance everyone that's tuning in right now. Big shout out to the viewers.
Yes. Thank you, man. We are excited to have you on, man. Look, let me tell you something. I ain't never read a book in 2 days. Never. Ever. But I couldn't put your book down, bro. I picked it up and I could not put it down. I called the mail yesterday in the mail. I said, man, you need to see they got a digital copy or something, man, so you can get out.
Yeah, I didn't get to look at it.
It's crazy. Man, one of the things that I like about what you did in this book is you took from day one. I mean, your experience from day one all the way through till you got up out of there. And I was asking Lavelle yesterday, I said, Lavelle, this is crazy to me. Because when I tell you, he took every conversation, I'm talking about like the details from everything. Some of the details was just too much. And I was like, this dude is off the chain. And I tell the I said, how could you remember that much each conversation? And all that. Lavelle said, man, look, when you experience a traumatic situation, sometimes, man, everything comes back to your remembrance, like every detail. And I said, well, he captured every detail. So that's what made it more, it was so captivating to me, and it held my attention for those 2 days that I read it. I was like, man, I'm I don't want to snitch on myself, but I'm all at work like, man, okay. Oh, I got a meeting. Let me get back. Let me fold this page right here. So, man, shout out to you, bro. Congratulations on the book, man.
Appreciate that.
And so just tell us a little bit about yourself other than what we had already shared,
man. Yeah, man. So born and raised in Atlanta, played football. That's a huge component to my journey and my identity overall. I still work in education. I still coach high school football. Spending into year 7 doing that, so that's been a journey. I started my publishing company in 2021 and worked with countless people, honestly. But I only had 2 people that's really locked in and saw my process and my vision of how I like to go about releasing my books. And not only were they able to publish their first books, both of their books were #1 bestsellers as well. The first author is Anthony McKinney. His book is titled The Father of the Child. It's about his experience growing up in rural Mississippi back in the 90s and how he was molested before the age of 10, how that shaped him and affected him, and eventually, resulted to who he is today. Powerful read, powerful read. And the second author is Tanisa Sadler. At the time she wrote her story, she's 15 years old, 16 years old when she published. Not only did she go #1 in 2 different genres, she held the #1 spot for like 9 straight days. So big shout out to those 2. We continue to grow Corley Publications LLC. I got some courses that I'm in the works of creating right now, a 14-day course actually, and a 14-week course. So any aspiring authors out there, you got to tap in with your boy. I could definitely turn your dream into a reality.
Man, that's awesome, bro. That is awesome. So, like, what made you want to go to China?
Well, once football came to an end, I was just at a crossroad. Pretty much every crossroad any athlete is going to go through once your sport comes to an end. Just trying to figure out what's next, having to re-identify myself all over again. So with me just going on that journey, it just led me to just applying for jobs. And I was mainly applying for corporate positions. I was in interviews. I'm talking about some of these interviews I'm getting blown out for, put up in hotels, getting caught. I'm talking about I'm getting the whole luxury treatment, but could not seem to land a position. And I did it for like 8 months. So after 8 months applying and not getting told no, I got to reapproach this thing because corporate might not be for you, family. We done tried this time and time again. They ain't had no success yet. So I was like, what are you good at doing? Working with people, talking with people. So I just switched up my job searching and looked for opportunities that's geared towards that. And by me doing that, that's when I seen the job post to teach English to kids in China. I was like, okay, that sounds lit. You know what I'm saying? Always been interested in China. It seems like something I can do. The requirements are basic. So I applied, interviewed, and after 8 months of being told no, first job to tell me yes on the other side of the world. So at that point, it wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is what we finna do.
Wow.
I noticed that, like, you mentioned that you weren't a Christian person, but you were a very spiritual person. And so when you talked about your journey a lot, you always mentioned the ancestors. And I think you kind of just alluded to then, like where, hey, I was being told no for all these different places. Then I was finally told yes for opportunity way across seas somewhere.
Yeah.
And so I think that's unique in itself because I guess my son, this is where you met my son at. He kind of did the same thing. He went through college and his football journey, and after that was over, he was saying, he always wanted to kind of work with youth and do at-risk youth. And so he was like, man, I want to teach overseas. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And he was like, yeah, we're gonna go to China. And I was like, well, that's a good experience because we've always traveled, so it really wasn't a big thing to for him to travel or whatever. But for him to talk about living and teaching abroad was something new. But I'm glad he got a chance to get that experience, and so did you. I know your experience was a little different. But Monica May says, have you been back to China since the incident?
So now I was deported. Ban ended. So technically now I'm allowed to go back, quote unquote, but you have to apply to visit China in any way, shape, or form. It ain't like you just buy a ticket and you head on over there. Now it's a whole process. You got to apply, fill out a whole itinerary, get a letter of recommendation. It's a lot to be able to go over there. So would I go out of my way to go back? No. If an opportunity presented itself, absolutely, without a doubt. That'll bring everything full circle, and I would document it this time just for more content to promote 14 Days in Beijing more.
Awesome. I just looking at your book in hindsight and looking at what you experienced, um, I don't necessarily know like that I would ever. I guess I'm like you. I don't know if I would ever want to go back because it seems like just from digging into your book and reading it, it seems like all the issues, like the real petty issues were with the foreigners. It
Yeah.
was like a whole lot of petty issues, and they were all with the foreigners. And I was like, this is crazy. And there was one particular incident that you documented, and we'll talk about that just led me like, had me like, man, what if that was my son stuck like that?
I
Yeah,
mean,
you know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, that is absolutely crazy. Like nobody knows. And the fact, so you start this book off, uh you call it switching lanes, and you had a foreword. And this foreword was by Kayla Lane.
yeah, she was
And,
part of our intake group. So
yeah,
me, and Tony was all in like the same little recruiting class.
yeah. And I kind of like how you did that, how you included people like that was kind of on this journey with you, including Bari, who was on
Yeah.
this journey with you. And I think the most intriguing part of all of this, Chance, was the fact that for at least what 7, 8 days, nobody knew where the hell you was.
Facts.
Which
Facts.
is scary in itself. Like you went from like, oh, I'm over here killing, I'm teaching the children, I'm kicking it, I'm going to do my thing, hanging out. I got events I'm going to, I'm working out at the gym, I got my little membership. To nobody knows where the hell you are. Nobody's heard from you
Yeah.
in a foreign country.
Yeah. I can only imagine how chaotic it was because it's like I was getting ready to meet friends too. On top of that, so I had people expecting to see me at the event, and it's like I don't show up whatsoever. And now I'm not returning any of my phone calls. I'm like, I can only imagine. Or at least they probably wasn't panicking too much, but I knew I was like, once I don't show up for work Saturday morning, oh yeah, all hell's loose because now they got to find some of my classes last minute. And then it's like, okay, where is he at? For real, for real. Like he didn't show up to the event, now he ain't at work. What's going on? What's the deal?
And so like when you guys sign up to teach abroad, is there like a you had to, I guess you had to do like an emergency list of people who to contact in case something happens? So at that point, did they reach out to your family and say, hey, we ain't been able to get in touch with him? Or you don't know?
Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't until day 7 once I was used my phone and reached out to my mom, and that's when she found. Well, at least she already knew. I found out that she had already knew what was going on. But yeah, it was no communication whatsoever for me. So what was going on the outside, I can only imagine.
And so the only way your mom knew out was because the U.S. embassy
Yeah,
reached
they
out to her.
facts.
So, but this was the crazy part. So when you got arrested, and we're gonna get into the good stuff, y'all, why he got arrested. uh, but when you got arrested, right? There was like they really didn't tell, or I guess all the writing was in Chinese or Mandarin or something, so you really couldn't understand it anyway. But they didn't really tell you like this you was just arrested for drugs. Like they didn't give you any information. And I thought it was weird because everybody that you had a conversation with knew like what they was arrested for, how many days they had, how much time they had, and you knew nothing,
On me.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's what makes a story what it is, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a huge mystery. It's like, okay, we done found ourselves in a situation. How are we going to make it through this maze? For real, for real. And we just left to our own devices and our own assumptions, and just got to learn as we go. and really just rely on faith.
Wow. So this is what I want you to do now. And I hate to put you through this to have to relive this, but I think that's part of your journey and part of your story. I want you to tell us about this day. Like, how did your day start, and how did you end up in freaking jail, Rod?
For sure. So the day is April 4th, 2019. Getting ready to head to a team building event that our company is hosting. Every month, our company hosts like 5 different events that you can pick and choose to go to. And it's just like some networking, team building stuff. It's just some chill vibes. So I was meeting colleagues, friends there. So I'm like, I'm a pregame before I go. I done went, worked out, ate, came back to the apartment, showered, and I started pre-gaming. I drinking a little Chinese wine cooler, smoking a little cannabis. I get done, start getting dressed, make sure I got everything I need before I walk out, and I hear a knock.
Wait a minute. You said drinking a wine cooler and doing what?
Smoking cannabis.
Smoking cannabis.
You smoking weed?
Yes. Smoking cannabis. At a little silver pipe. I get done, make sure I got everything I need before I walk out the door, and I hear a knock. Curious to see who it is. It's 3 officers from the Beijing police. I'm instantly spooked. Scramble to put everything up. Open the door. They come in. They question me about drugs. I'm sitting here playing the fool like I don't know what's going on. Playing it like a straight foreigner. And we going back and forth. And more officers enter the apartment. I go grab my documentation, give it to them so they can review it. So I'm just trying to ease the situation and trying to at least let's divert it, get up out of here, because I know I still got I still got weed left. I just don't want them to find it. So another officer comes in, he hands this item to the officer that's looking over my documents, and they communicate to me that I need to pee into this cup. So it was a drug test right there on the spot. And right there, I was like, yeah, it's over with. I knew it was over with. Do the drug test, the results came back instantly. Now, it's out of nowhere. It's like 10, 11 officers in the apartment. I don't even know where they came from. They ransacking the place. They question me about drugs. I'm just sitting here still trying to finesse until it was just pretty much, it got to the point where I knew that they found the rest of the stash. So I just owned up to it.
Did that kind of blow your high? Just all them folk coming?
I'm just hanging on to the hope that they don't come across the rest of the stash. That's it. I'm like, as long as they don't come across the rest of the stash, I'm good. But once they made it obvious that they did, it's like all the stress and the anxiety that I was under just vanished. Cause like, okay, well, shit, it is what it is at this point. I'm just gonna own up to it and just hold myself accountable. So own up to it. They confiscate everything, throw the cuffs on me, and now all forms of communication cease to exist at this point. They was talking to me the whole time until they found the weed. Once they found the weed, no more talking.
So put a pin there. So as far as China, Beijing, their policies on marijuana, cannabis, what are their policies as far as drugs is concerned?
You might as well be doing fentanyl and meth. You know what I'm saying? All the hardcore stuff. It's all equated the same out there.
Wow.
Yeah. So they got a no drug
Yeah.
policy. No
Zero.
drugs.
Zero time.
The drugs are against the law, illegal, period.
Wow.
So you went through this. They was communicating with you really good up to that point, just asking you questions. If they're, asking you, I guess, if there isn't more drugs in the house, or how did you get I'm pretty sure they was asking you, like, how did you get the drugs? Where did you get them from?
For sure.
And so you go through this process, and then all of a sudden they just throw you in the, I guess, a car, a paddy wagon, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so you wondering now, like, what the hell is, like, where I'm going?
Facts. Bounce around from precinct, or I'm jail house, and that ain't till like damn near the next day. For real.
So this happened like early in the morning, basically, because you had an event you was going to.
It's like 10, 11 a.m.
And so you didn't get to where you will actually be until late that night.
like
for
3,
the
4,
next day.
like 3, 4 in the morning.
Damn. And I'm talking about without knowing no information of what.
I didn't know what was going on. We ended up at the hospital. I'm like, what we doing here? Like, what's going on? Like, we was at the jail at first, then we left the jail, come to the hospital. I'm like, bro, at this point, I'm just gonna sit back and just see what we gonna do, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. This is too confusing. It ain't like we can talk anyway because of the language barrier. So yeah.
Monica says, as a mother, I can only imagine the thoughts going through her mind doing this as well. Was there a language barrier? He just said there was a language barrier. Did you understand everything? And clearly he did not, because there was a language barrier. So he didn't really understand what was going on. And they weren't really able to communicate with him properly. So
Not whatsoever.
Man, so you get to this your final spot where they're gonna hold you at 3, 8, 4 a.m. in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And at this point, you're saying, "What the hell?" You know. To be honest with you, I like, because you said, "Hey, man, I did it. I'm holding myself accountable." Like, you didn't seem like, from reading, you didn't seem like you were nervous about the situation. I mean, you was like, the unknown was there in that show, but like, you handled it really well, because you was like, "Hey, hold myself accountable. I did it. They found it. Hey, it is what it is. Let me just deal with what I got to deal with. Let me lay it down and do what I got to do." And I was like, this dude got some good ass spirit, because I'd have been bouncing off the wall. I'm like, hell no, I need to talk to somebody. You was really cool, and you kept referencing, "Hey, man, the universe got me. The ancestors got me. I done prayed to the ancestors and blah, 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 blah." And you talked a lot about dreams and stuff that you were having, where the ancestors were showing you stuff. And shit, I guess at one point you just really didn't take heed, even though the dreams were so visual and you could, but you weren't really paying attention to them like you probably should have. And it got caught up. So you said, "Hey, it is what it is. I'm just gonna continue to pray. The ancestors got my back. The universe, man, is this big." But this is where it kind of got interesting to me. So you start to narrate every day, right? From the beginning. You narrate how you go in there, and I'm like, shit, it sounds like he in a chill place. He cool, he in a good mood. He has this great attitude about it, even though he don't know what the hell is going on. And then everybody that you talk to, like, they're trying to figure you out. You trying to figure them out. The language barrier, because everybody in I guess the first holder said that you went to was all Chinese. Nobody spoke English, and they had broken English, and you trying to figure them out. They trying to figure you out. They looking at you. You got these long dreads and the beard. And so this is the part that kind of tripped me out, because you was like, "I don't really understand what they saying. I don't understand what but you peeping out everything about you, like I'm checking these people out, right? Like, they nasty. They ain't washing their hands. They going over there taking a crap or pee, not washing their hands." So you noticing all of this kind of stuff. You saying, "Man, we're gonna be sick in this just."
But
So take us through like the first couple of days. Take us through the first couple of days, and because, like I said, you was really chill, like, and I was like, this dude finna take this on the chin, and not knowing, like, that would have just had me in an uproar itself, just like not knowing,
yeah.
having no information. But you was doing good, and that's why I was a little confused. I was reading the book, and I was like, man, he taking this really, really good. So kind of take us through the first couple of days.
Yeah. Well, it's just like it's only foreign, only English speaking to sell. So it's like I don't have anybody to communicate with. So it was just a whole lot of time to reflect. Full 72 hours. We often reflect about what our day, maybe the week, the month, the year or our journeys, but how much time do we allow ourselves to truly reflect? What, 5, 10 minutes max? You know what I'm saying? I had a full 72 hours to just sit there and reflect on everything. You know what I'm saying? It was soul search entirely, as well as just try to start coming up with a game plan for whenever my time is up here of what I can do to, you know what I'm saying, start bouncing back from the situation. Um, so yeah, it's just a whole lot of time to reflect and be in solitude. Even though I'm around a bunch of people, it's still like I was in solitude. And that's solitude can be beneficial. You know,
Yeah.
too much solitude can be detrimental, but for the most part, being with oneself and allowing yourself to be comfortable with being around yourself and just being to yourself, you learn so much about your own peace, and how to make peace in whatever situation or whatever circumstance you might be. So yeah, it was definitely beneficial. It was just enough amount. It was just the right amount of time I needed, because on day 4, it's a whole completely different shift in the story.
So how big, like, because I think you referenced that each cell was supposed to hold maybe 15 people.
Yeah.
So how big were those actual cells?
I say in football terms, the length, I say about no more than 15 yards, and width no more than 10. So
So
it's like,
15 yards by 10 yards.
yeah, so it's like a big little race for sure.
And so with 15 people, y'all had like 15. I mean, I know the answer to this, but I'm trying to paint the picture for everybody else. So y'all had 15 bunks in there.
Well, it was
You know,
nine.
You said it was what?
9 bunks.
15 people and 9 bunks.
That's the
Ooh.
problem. Somebody.
Ooh. So was anybody getting their manhood tested?
Nah. Nah. Throughout the night, it was always 2 people that had to take watch. So pretty much you just got to stand and watch everybody else sleep. So now it's only 13 people that got to squeeze on the 9 bunks. But it looked like, you know what I'm saying, back in the day when we had sleepovers with the cousins and teammates and stuff like that, that's what it looked like, a big old slumber party. But with grown
Shit, with a bunch of nasty men.
Wow.
My God. So after the first couple of days, I know, and I'm trying to give bits and pieces because I want people to go read the book, right? But after the first few days, they end up moving you. Moving it because it was a few of y'all. I think it was only maybe 3 or 4 of y'all left, so they moved y'all to another cell with some other people. And you went in there and like, shit, okay, here we go again. You know, I'm trying, and then you actually met a cool dude, 2 cool dudes. You met Lenny and Victor. And Lenny just so happened to be, I think, from California.
Yeah.
But he was living over there in California. And Victor, I think, was from Brazil. And them 2 cats spoke English. So I think Lenny ended up being your you call him your translator. How was it going from not being able, having that barrier, not being able to speak to somebody, to actually going in a cell with somebody who could speak the language, speak your language, and can communicate and translate with what others were saying?
It was pretty much like, it was reassuring that I was like, okay, the ancestors are with me for real. Because like I could have been in straight solitude the whole 14 days, but they, you know what I'm saying, they ain't allow that. So I was like, misery loves company. I ain't alone no more. So it's like, hey, I've made partners and stuff. And most importantly, I can start learning. The biggest aspect is just learning how to jail operate and the process work. Because at this point, I still know what's going on or how this thing finna play out. But shout out to Lenny. That man was the GOAT. He knew everything, every detail about anything related to the jail and how it ran. So big shout out to him because he pretty much pieced out of the give a lot of pieces to the puzzle of saying how this thing works, but still like a mystery because we don't know how long specifically I'm gonna be here. I got an idea how it works somewhat.
Yeah, and I think Victor and they had interesting. They were in there too because like Lenny Lenny had was in there for weed, I think.
Yep.
And Victor was in there for expired visa or something.
Yeah, he's
or,
working.
or working on the wrong type of visa.
Yeah, facts.
And I'm like, this seems like some petty stuff, But these people were now. I guess the good thing about it was you could because these guys knew supposedly how much time they were supposed to have.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of like look at your situation and match it up against their situation. Say, well, if they gave you this much time and I had this, so maybe they give me this much time. So you can count, even though you didn't know, you could try to figure it out.
Facts.
Yeah. And so I think that gave you some reassurance there. But you would think that, okay, now that the language barrier has somewhat been broken because I can communicate with people and we could talk. But I think it also brought another level of like effed upness because you're like, damn, we talking it and we giving each other hope because you built a camaraderie with some guys like really quick.
Yeah, facts.
Like really, really quick. And this don't really like this is not the norm. And I think you can attribute that to maybe your personality. And you being vocal and talking to people and just really, having an open mind and say, because some people be in that situation, they're like, I'm gonna stick to myself, stay over here, I ain't gonna bother nobody. But you were like, shit, I don't know how much time I got here. I gotta get to know some folks and see what's going on. Because you even referenced like how they was folding up, like so I really want people to understand like what you had to go through daily, like how the process was. And it was like a fucking boot camp or something.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't really go to sleep and then they made you take a nap, and then lunch is this time, and then they made you go to sleep at this time, and it was like shit, And so, like even regular jail, they do, tell you like lights out and stuff. Like I worked in a prison for 5.5 years, so I could identify with a lot of the stuff you were saying. But some of it, I was like, damn, they can't even sleep during the day. They got to kind of. And you reference how some dudes be trying to sleep, slick, take a nap, slick, close their eyes and take a nap and stuff like that. So kind of tell us about like the daily operation, like what you had to kind of deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah, so wake up was 6:30 a.m. every morning. Breakfast comes by around 7. And then you got the nurses, they'll come around like 8, drop off any type of medication for folks that need it. Around like 9, sanitation might come through, and all they do is just bring us some rags. I'm pretty sure not even clean to wipe the flows down with. And then after that, lunch comes 11, nap at noon. We up at 1:30, and then we just sitting there.
So you have to take a nap at noon. You have to.
Yeah. I mean, you can just sit there. You still got to lay down. Whether you go to sleep or not, you still got to lay down. Unless you're one of the 2 inmates that got to take watch. Then you know what I'm saying, you up. But aside from that, you laying down. Dinner comes around 4. And after that, nothing till around like 8. That's when they do the last count for bedtime. And I think the lights ain't out. We just lay down at like I want to say 9 or 10 p.m. Yeah, and that's just pretty much the schedule of the day, every single day.
And then I know you also referenced that sometimes during the nighttime, if you guys didn't have a full cell,
Oh yeah,
or even if you had a full cell, they would bring new inmates in.
Yeah.
And so if you got 15 people and 13 laying on the bunks, 2 watching, and they bringing 3 more people in, where them people laying at?
Hey, we gotta make room.
Wow.
On the 9 bunks?
Gotta make room. Like I literally like think about the slumber party from back in the day. You got like you know what I'm saying? It was wild.
What size are these bunks? Are these queens, twins? What is?
They like I guess you could say singles.
Yeah, no.
And so did they have like a mattress on them and sheets and stuff?
Wood.
Huh? Just
All
straight wood.
wood.
It's prison at this point. It's real prison.
Yeah, that's I mean, even here jail have a little thin mattress on it.
Yeah.
Whew. So it was funny because you started to after a few days, you started to kind of name folk. You know, you started to give people like nicknames and stuff. So of course Lennon Victor, them was your boys. Y'all did everything together. Y'all talked, chopped it up, ate together, and what was the food like?
Some form of every meal. It could be vegetable soup, tofu soup, but there was some form of soup and big old bread rolls every meal.
So soup and bread every meal. Damn. And I know you started getting creative at one point because you was like,
Yeah.
So this was funny too. When you was in that first cell, like you said you had to take care of your business. Like you like, I gotta take care of my business, right? Because I don't want to be around here stopped up for so. But they didn't have regular toilets.
Mm-mm.
They had the squat toilets. So you had to squat over the hole.
Yeah. It's a rude awakening if you ain't ever done it before. And it definitely takes a lot of reps just to get used to being in that position for sure.
And the crazy part about this was you was like, I'm in here, I got to do this, but these folk ain't even got no soap in here to wash your hand. They got no toothpaste. You can't take no shower. You just got a bunch of nasty, musty folk in a cell.
Man.
And so you experienced this, I think maybe 2, 3 days, 3, 4 days, whatever it was, till they move you to the cell with Lyndon. When you went in there, you was like, y'all got toilet paper here?
Hey.
Y'all got soap? You know.
Everything.
So they
like,
had amenities in the next cell you went to. So it was a blessing. Like you went in there and you said, man, the ancestors is really looking out for me because man, I'm Gucci.
well, rough 14 days I was in that first cell the whole time, boy.
And so you were able to get some amenities, a few amenities in the next cell. But I don't think I still don't think you were able to get a toothbrush.
No, I never had it.
Because you could buy a toothbrush when they came around with the when they were selling the stuff, because you didn't even know about that when they come around sell the stuff and the commissary stuff, and you didn't know, but you had to have. They say you had to have cash.
Yeah,
to buy it, and you didn't have cash. You had WeChat.
That was dumb. That was so dumb. Like anywhere outside of this facility, if you pull out cash, folks looking at you crazy because you're slowing up the line. Like everybody else uses mobile pay. I'm like, why? But it's like, hey, it's China. No, why China? You just do.
Yeah, and they probably trying to make it hard. Now, this so kind of going back to when you first came in there, when you first walked in the cell, because you were like, I don't know what I'm gonna expect, but when you first walk in there, you run across this big, huge dude.
Oh man, yeah.
with scabs all over his face, and you like, man, they fighting up in this joint. Like, man, what's going on? Like, and he was looking mean, wasn't saying nothing. You know, you was like, damn, you know, okay. So what at that point, what was you thinking? Damn, I might have to, you know, throw hand with this boy.
I was just like, man, I was just blown. I'm like, bro, I just got used to the first cell and everybody that was in there, and now I gotta get used to a whole different group of people, and they got this crazy old looking dude in here. I'm like, oh man, ain't no telling who else in here. I just put my head just kept walking until I heard somebody say, "Hey man." I was like, "Who's somebody speaking English? Who was that?" And that's when I seen Lenny and Victor over there. I was like, "Oh, what's up, family? What's going on?"
So now this the crazy part. You in here, you don't know what the hell's going on. You don't know how much time you got. You in jail in fucking Beijing, China for smoking weed. You don't know how long you got. Nobody heard from you in here thinking outside, damn, what my girlfriend doing? I wonder what moms them thinking. I mean, shit, my boy Barry, what Barry doing, right? You know, man, my Barry out there, he probably looking for me. You know what I'm saying? You thinking all of these things, right? And then all of a sudden, and you now you in this crazy ass, you in this cell with this crazy dude that you find out is a Russian, and just from way he looked in his rough exterior, and then you kind of heard his story a little bit, and so you nickname him the Rhino.
Yeah.
You nickname him the Rhino, and they was like, "Why you call him the Rhino?" Because you was like, he can tear some shit up. So yeah, you the Rhino, you know. So you in this cell, and then so Lennox kind of giving you like, "Hey, well, this means that, oh yeah, you know, oh what they saying is this. Oh, they checking out your hair because they started to look at you and they looking at your hair, how long it take you to grow your hair, and then you know." Lenny kind of get a little upset when they real ignorant, man. They just saying crazy stuff. They even question the size of your penis. Like all black men have big penises, and so I guess hell they wanted you to pull it out probably to show them, you know. But that was weird stuff that you had to kind of, and you was like, oh, it's cool, you know. Lenny getting upset about it, but you like, oh, it's cool. They just curious. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying, man. You was so cool and laid back. I was like, man, this dude is really taking his L on the chin, like big, you know. But I'm like, it sounds like he in a good place. But then all of a sudden, it was like, oh, we get to meet with our what you call them, the immigration officer. We get to meet with the immigration. He come on Wednesday. We're gonna meet with the immigration officer. And then you meet with the immigration officer. They take y'all out and take y'all down there, you know. And guess what the hell you run into?
My boy.
You run into your boy Barry, who you think is out there wondering where the hell you at, and he in there locked up too.
Man, it was too crazy. It was too crazy. That's I was like, bro, this is a movie, bro. Like this is too, like you can't make this stuff up.
That's what I told Tony yesterday when he was explaining everything. So I said, this man got a real deal movie on his hand.
Man.
And it was crazy. You was like, y'all get in the elevator. You like, nigga, what you doing here? Nigga, we was looking for you, man. Everybody wondering where you was at. And now he locked up. At that point, what did you say? Oh, this some bullshit.
Man, they must have got you right after they got me for sure.
So let me ask you this: you think is that when you know about it, a lot of American or other people from other countries come over there for those particular assignments and stuff like that? Do you think that the country kind of targets individuals, so to speak?
I was told that you'll be targeted. Well, they just know they know who to target. You know what I'm saying? For sure. That was my first time being approached on the streets, you know what I'm saying, and offered to buy drugs. So they know who to pick and who not to pick. So it was just very interesting. Then of course it has to be some type of inside informant because I'm like, it's still a mystery to this day what possessed them to come to my apartment to begin with. I get asked that all the time.
So you don't think it was like your neighbor? But you said you didn't have much interaction with your neighbor. So like, and it was coming off a Chinese holiday. So you said a lot of them wasn't even there.
Yeah. So I've never even seen no neighbor. Only person I've seen in this building is the janitor, and we always show love back. So I'm like, aside from that, bro, I don't know. It's still a mystery.
So undoubtedly, whoever this individual that you get your uh, medicine from, so to speak, they may have already kind of been like watching him, so to speak, as far as how he moves and what he does. And from what I understand, they got a lot of eyes over there, as far
Oh,
as the
every
stuff.
surveillance like no other, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
So it's
when
as if they had already been, you know, surveilling him for him doing his trafficking, if you will.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that was a bait and hook job too, because you was confused, like, damn, how did they even know to come to my apartment? So I was like, they had to be watching the dude that you got it from, or at least, or either he was the person that was working with them to trap people. You know what I'm saying? So, and Monica made an issue. Monica and I had planned to visit China when Lil Tony was there, but that's never really been a place on her bucket list. She said, in your opinion, is China a safe or recommended place to visit? Are foreigners picked on or targeted more than other places?
I didn't even read the thing, but yeah, wow.
China is one of, like the most safe world you can be at or live. Um, so I would recommend visit if an opportunity for you to visit out there. I say take it all day, every day. What I say, go out of your way to, not necessarily because it's a process and it's expensive to get out too. But all in all, despite my last 14 days, entire China experience was harmonious. We talking 14
Yeah,
days, 6 months out. 6 months was lit. I was lit before that happened, so it's like I best life. But
yeah. Lil Tony was saying the same thing. He was like, you know, he had, as far as I know, he had one really bad experience, and it kind of shook us to our core a little bit. Because Monica and I was telling Lavelle, Monica and I had actually planned to travel to China. We had, booked that, had got our flight, and I was like, man, we just gotta do the little visa stuff, and because we was like, we're gonna go here, we're gonna do, and then one morning, Lil Tony called one morning. It was about 3 a.m. And man, of course there was a time difference, but we just thinking it's 3 a.m.
yeah,
And we knew it was a time difference, so we didn't really think nothing of it. But we also knew that he knew there was a time difference, and he wouldn't normally just call us that early because he know we sleep.
yeah.
But he called at 3 a.m. and when Monica picked up the phone, he was crying, boo crying. And I'm like, oh shit, what the hell it happened? She jumped up. What's going on? Man, dude was so mad and furious because before he left, I had talked to a guy that had lived in China. He had business in China. He lived in China. And somebody had turned me on to him. He said, man, just tell him to keep his nose clean when he come over here. They don't play. They got cameras and stuff everywhere. They don't tolerate all this fighting and all that stuff. So, tell him to keep his head at all times. So I know Tony had a little bit of a hot head. So I was like, hey, bro, go over there, keep your head, don't let nothing. So he was so mad to the point he was crying. That's how mad he was. He was riding his motorbike. I don't know, it was to work or from work. And he saw this Chinese guy standing out there with his dog on the curb, and he was driving past. And he could see the dude kind of rearing back, but he like, ain't thinking nothing of it. But as he got close, the dude just holler off and spit on him.
Mm.
Now, everybody that know Lil Tony's not no small dude.
Oh no.
Lil Tony 300, over 300, 6'5", and had 300 pounds. He a big dude. And so it ain't like he didn't see him coming.
No me.
So Lil Tony was like, just spit on me. So he turns around and goes back, and he telling the dude, hey man, you spit on me. And he said the dude started laughing at him.
uh,
And he was like, oh shit, he laughing because he spit on me. And he said, I wanted to punch him so bad, but he said, I was thinking about daddy said, man, you can't be on the beat up before you'll go to jail. He said, but hey, he spit on me, I'm gonna spit on his back. So he said, I tried to get some stuff from the deep bottom of my stomach and spit on him. But he was so infuriated by it, like he called crying, and from that point, bro, while he was there, my wife at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock every morning, she woke up looking at her phone. She could not sleep, and until he got home, and then one day he called. He was like, "Yeah, I think it's my time. You know, they tripping with the contract. They ain't paying me like they supposed to pay me. Blah blah blah." I was like, "Shit, come home." He was like, "I need y'all to give me a ticket." I was like, "Bet." You know, so. But he always says he would go back to visit. Like, I go back and visit because he loved. Like he said, whenever he went out somewhere,
Hey,
they probably thought he was like a football player or some kind of sport athlete. And he's like, I got everything free. Like they just brought me stuff, drinks and everything free.
dude, foreigners. Oh my goodness, the nightlife. Me and him went out so much. Like I already knew. Tony called me. We finna pop out. We outside tonight. I'm already went. It was lit.
So Lenny and Victor, them your boys now. Y'all kicking it, y'all hanging out. Lenny translating everything. Then one morning you hear this faint holler out. And it's Bruce.
Yes, sir.
You don't know what the hell Bruce's last name is because you can't catch it. You can't catch Bruce's wife last. You can't catch where Bruce's wife works. You can't catch. All you can just catch is I'm American. I've been in here for over a year. Nobody knows I'm here. You know, I got documents on the American government, some high level people, and they holding me. Somebody reach out to my family. And you like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was so that I identify with him. Like, here I am in this situation. I'm not nobody here. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. So I'm like, bro, that could be me easily. So I'm like, I feel for cuz off the rip.
And he did this. He made his little speech every morning around the same time.
Good morning.
So at one point, you decided, man, I ain't catch his last name. let me talk to him. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah. So I jump up on the bunks and I don't know where his voice is coming from, but I just yell out the window. I was like, Bruce, hey Bruce. And like I could hear like distant chatter, like folks was trying to get his attention to come to the window. And before he even respond, the guards came on the intercom. He just yelling. I don't know what he's saying. And Lenny's like, hey, bro, they telling you to sit down. So I sat down. And like 2 minutes later, the CEO came to the cell door and pulled me to the, you know what I'm saying, pulled me to the side. I was like, hey, bro, don't be doing all of that. He in trouble. If you mess with him, you'll be in the same amount of trouble. So I was like, I'm going to leave that alone, man. For sure. You got to tell me twice.
So he basically told you like he was in trouble with the U.S. government and they didn't left him there, and the same could happen to you.
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah.
Shit.
Right. I put the story in the book though. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully somebody can do some due diligence and be able to find out something about you. But hey, that's all I can do. I did my part.
Margaret said, wait. What? Do all black men have what? Yeah, y'all get the book, read the book, man. He talked about it. Yeah. But she said, what made them come to your spot? Did someone send them? What happened? He don't know. He don't know. Like to this day, he don't know. I'm thinking kind of like the veil. I think they were either following the dude who supplied you with it, or it was one of those things where he was working with them to trap people, you know, that may have smoked or whatever the situation was, right? So it's crazy. So anyhow, you go through the first 8, maybe 9 days, you're finally able to contact your mom.
Yeah.
And your mom's like, oh shit, I got a flight. I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
What you talking about, man? They already called me from the U.S. Embassy. I got a flight, nigga. I'll be there tomorrow.
Man.
and the immigration person told you to tell her, well, ain't no need of her coming because ain't nothing she could do. And your mama said, bump that. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow. Which I ain't gonna see you, but I'll be there tomorrow.
Facts.
So you knew your mom was coming. So you was like, okay, mom coming. I'm cool. At least they know I'm good. I'm here. They know mom coming. She gonna raise hell at the U.S. Embassy.
Yeah, facts.
So your mom gets there. You still ain't had no communication with moms, since she got there. None of that. You don't know what's going on. You know, mom is there, but she probably been to that U.S. Embassy.
Yeah.
So you at this point, you just kind of waiting to hear, and they still like even the immigration person ain't told you. Then you finally get to talk to the U.S. Embassy person. They can't tell you shit.
Man, it's like, what am I supposed to do at this point? It's like, just hang on to faith. That's all I can do.
So the U.S. Embassy person comes, they don't know. So you was like, well, and then Lenny said, well, I just found out. They said, I'm gonna get out. And you was like, oh, bet, man, you got a couple more days. You out of here, Lenny. And then all of a sudden, well, actually before that, y'all kind of got down. That's kind of when I think things kind of turned. Like y'all really, because they was coming to get people that had came in there after y'all, and they were leaving. And hell, I think even the damn big Russian left. And you was like, what the fuck? He gone? And so y'all was starting to get a little discouraged then at that point. And you was like, man, I don't know shit. And I think, and just listening to y'all, and I think that's when the mental started playing a part. You was like, oh, I'm here. Like, I'm here. I might well just, get used to it and lay it down until they say something. And then all of a sudden Lenny got a little worried. He going home. So you happy for your boy Lenny. But then you look over there and Lenny crying.
Yeah.
And you like, what the hell, man? You finna go home and you crying? But he tells you some news that's going on. You like, my boy, look, it's gonna be good. You encourage him a little bit, and then, cool. So anyway, a couple days go by, then he finally gets out of there. He y'all shake. Look me up, hit me on Facebook, all that good stuff. It's just you and Victor. You like, damn, a translator gone. Then you realize that hell, Victor can speak pretty good, decent Chinese. And you like, well, okay, shit. Now my boy, you my translator now. And you sleep, right? You a couple more days go by, you sleeping and chilling and kicking it and doing your thing, and then you done nicknamed everybody in there, Chef, Young Bull. You getting everybody names. Then they start calling your name. You like, man, because you didn't mentally, you in a place where you like, hey, let me just do this time, and they calling your name, you don't even hear them. They calling you Lucky. People, because I guess that's what you told them your name was or whatever, but they told you what the Chinese word for lucky is and all that stuff. But they calling Lucky. And then so I guess everybody else come wake you up, and Victor said they calling you, man. They calling you. They telling you to get your bowl. And you get your bowl.
Yeah, facts.
you hop out of there when they get that bowl, right? Yeah. So you get your bowl, you hop in there, and then you look back at Victor, you and Victor dapping up, and you like, damn, my boy Victor gonna be here by himself, but oh well. Man, you get out, they get you all your clothes and stuff, man. Pack you up. You've been there 14 days. You like, shit. Man. They pack you up. They telling you, man, we've been ship your ass on the plane, put you on the plane. You getting up out of there. We're gonna take you by your apartment, get your stuff. And you go by your apartment, and lo and behold, who's sitting in your apartment?
Mama.
Wow.
Mama.
Nigga, mama sitting in the apartment. Mama then packed his shit up, saying we getting the hell out of here. Mama then packed his shit up. And they finna get up out of there.
Love.
Great segue. So we back where it all started at. So when they come to your home, to your apartment, and they go through the procedures, searching your home and all that stuff, and then they finally, see you. How did they treat you as far as get ready to go through their process? Are they treating you like an actual criminal? Are they pushing shoving? Are they just a easy situation? How does that work?
It was only one officer in the apartment with us, and he was pretty chill. Like he was just standing there. Me and Dukes, we just sitting there catching up. I'm trying to packing and catching up as much as possible. But they was pretty chill though. They ain't really was trying to rush us or nothing like that. And she already had majority of packed, so all I had to do was just make sure.
I'm talking about when you got arrested, not when you came
Oh,
back home. I
oh,
was when you got arrested.
no, they was pretty chill. It was only one person talking. Everybody else was just walking around the apartment, scoping the place out until I failed the drug test and they was looking for the drugs. Then, you know what I'm saying? They ransacking the place, but even then, it was still only one person that was communicating with me. Everybody else I had no communication with whatsoever.
So they never at any point during your process where they roughhouse you or nothing like that.
Oh no, hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
Okay. And I think even at one point doing, I think the U.S. embassy person actually were they treating you humanly, you know, and all that good stuff. So, which was good that they do have somebody to come and check on you.
Facts. Yeah.
Man,
So
this little time that went by so freaking
fast, yeah. So let me ask you this, Chance. So doing what you've done, understanding the standards and the policies over there, do you take responsibility for what you've done, or did it make you feel like a criminal because you smoked cannabis?
No, I just shouldn't have been smoking over there.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's why I was like at the very beginning, I was like, bro, I hold myself accountable.
Yeah, and he said that. He said that in the book. Like, I take full responsibility because I know I shouldn't. I know it's illegal, but I just had to keep out, and I did it, and I take full responsibility for it. And that's why I said, man, you was big because you owned up to it, you took accountability for it, and you said whatever the consequences is, that's what it is.
You said you had to have something else besides some soccer. You needed something else to get you going. So you don't want you didn't want no hot ass wine.
Oh me, no bull.
That's soccer though. That's soccer. They call it soccer for a reason. It's soccer to you.
Yeah, facts.
I'm gonna save our clock the T segment for tomorrow, man. Cause we're gonna save that for tomorrow, man. But I do want y'all to go out there and get the book. 14 Days in Beijing. With our boy Chancellor Jackson. It's an unforgettable story of a young American's journey through a Chinese penitentiary. And it is, man, y'all, I'm telling you, it's gonna keep you intrigued because he gets very detailed in his daily activities about everything that's going on. And I was just at man that you could remember every conversation day by day in the order. Like, and Lavelle said, man, shit. I mean, he had all day to sit there and think about it. Oh, man, I want to thank my boy Chancellor, man. Like, how could people get in touch? Because you do have, hold on, I got it right here. I know you got your Instagram and all that stuff. Y'all can follow Chancellor on Instagram and Twitter at KORLEHJ.
Yes, sir.
Instagram and Twitter.
Yes,
That's correct, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, at KORLEHJ. Y'all can follow him. You can explore his books and website at linktr.ee/KORLEH. And we're gonna put that in the group. So if you guys want to, and his books are on Amazon, so you can order the book on Amazon. And you got another book, another book or two too as well. You want to take some time to plug those as well?
Yeah, so I have 4 books that I've written. Of course, 14 Days in Beijing. For my romance lovers out there, I got a romance saga. You love, you learn, and real love never dies. And pretty much 14 Days in Beijing, You Love, You Learn, Real Love Never Dies. It's a trilogy, so it's telling one long story. So Real Love Never Dies on me going to China, things I was doing in China before 14 days, and then of course what took place after those 14 days. So you want to just dabble in a completely different genre, but get the full story at the same time, definitely tap in with those. I just released a self-help book last month titled The Power of Becoming, 7 Pillars of Growth and Empowerment. And pretty much that's a book full of quotes and insights centered around 7 core themes: love, discernment, success, happiness, adversity, healing, and confidence. And through these pages, you'll learn how to amplify your confidence, re-evolutionize your happiness, build an unshakable sense of self-worth, nurture healthier relationships, and it'll help guide you through adversity. So yeah, y'all definitely go tap in with that. We had another successful launch with that as well. That was leading the charts in 2 different genres on our debut. So yeah, go tap in, man.
So Tony mentioned that you're not, as far as Christianity, you're not big on it, but you are spiritual, and you mentioned the ancestors. That's something big that my brother-in-law is on, and
Okay.
and to a certain degree, I do, kind of tap in on it. So do you believe that this was something that was supposed to happen in your life for you to go through this?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I knew because, like I said, I played football. Football came to an end. Who am I? I don't know.
Mm.
I got to figure myself out all over again. So it took all of that just for me to be at this point right now. You know what I'm saying? Doing what I'm doing it.
And you probably wouldn't be it if you hadn't had that experience.
Yeah, facts. Ain't no telling.
Yeah.
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 Man,
Uh,
it's amazing,
Monica says, "Shout out to Mama."
Man,
man. What?
She
Big
said,
Mama.
we would definitely be supporting by ordering your book. So yeah, we
Absolutely.
definitely, cause like I said, after reading this book, man, I'm gonna get Tony his copy back, and I'm gonna order my own copy because I know you signed this one exclusively for him. But I'm gonna order my own copy of this book and the other books so I can have them. And man, look, man, shout out, bro, to Chancellor Jackson for being with us today, man. We appreciate you, bro. Anytime you want to come back and share, bro, just holler at me and let me know, man, and we'll bring you back. But y'all definitely go get this book. Go get
Observation,
the book,
Chance.
14 days.
Can you get it? Can you get the book digitally?
yeah, it's available in ebook, paperback, hardcover, and I just got the Audible for the original version of 14 Days of Beijing.
Okay.
Audible, or you can listen to it on SoundCloud or YouTube as well.
If you can send those links to Tony, so we can make sure we put those. Because I mean, like some people like the hardbacks, but some people, they like the new technology.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Chance Marker said you got to sign her book though.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
got personal copies that I order in bulk. So if you order from my website, I sign it for you.
So that's if you order from your site instead of
Yeah,
Amazon.
straight from Amazon. At least print station to you, so I won't be able to sign it. But I got my own copy.
Okay, so we'll probably just order through your site then, so we can get the signed copies. I know she likes stuff like that. All right, man. Well, look, man, we thank you again, Chance, for being on today with us, man. Like this has been an absolute joy, man, to be able to talk to you, bro, and get your experience, man. Uh, and I'm telling you guys, when you travel abroad, man, Monica and I travel a lot, and so we always try to pay attention to whatever laws and stuff that's going on because we don't never want to be in violation. And I tell people all the time, if you're gonna travel abroad, just make sure you understand the culture, understand the laws, and don't be over there going trying to turn. You can't turn up everywhere, not like you want to.
Yeah.
There are some things you have some laws and stuff you have to obey. So
You can't do no public affection in some of these countries and stuff. You can be married, you can't even touch on each other. I'm like,
yeah,
this my wife.
like I know Dubai is kind of like that. You can't be out there kissing and hugging and rubbing and all that in public. Yeah. So anyway, thank you again, sir, for coming and joining us, man. Man, I'm talking about happy to have you, bro. Anytime you want to come back and share, talk about your book, you're more than welcome to do so. Lavelle, close us out with a prayer, bro.
I'm a fan, bro. I'm already a fan. You remind me of one of my homies I've been knowing for a good little while. Y'all remind me a whole lot of each other. Very intelligent, very well spoken young men. And whenever I see that, it gives me some hope, if you will, that we still have some good brothers out here. You said coaching and doing that type of thing, man. So man, big up to everything you're doing and much success. So uh, I want to try to pray to the ancestors, but I don't know how to do it. They say, "Hi, see, say, hey, I say." Yeah. No doubt, though. Let us pray. Most gracious eternal God, our Father, Lord God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this time. Thank you for just waking us up this morning. We thank you for life. Thank you for Chan's life and bringing him through this situation and giving him this experience and this testimony to be able to share with other individuals what he went through and be able to use this as a platform and use it for success that you have given him. Continue to touch his life and everything that he puts his hand to do. Continue to touch Tony family, my family, and everybody that's associated and will fellowship with us from now on out. We ask you to do this in your dollar son Jesus' name, and we say it, amen.
Amen. Man, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bad time.
Same bad place.
2 Men in Hats. Let's talk about it.
It's the 2 Minute Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hats podcast.